I don't know what's going to become of you. How many times have we heard parents say this to their children? And the young boy Maximilian's reaction was, I prayed very hard to Our Lady to tell me what would happen to me. What was the response to his question, and what followed thereon, we will know in a little while. Dear friends, welcome to You Too Can Be a Saint, an interaction with a saint to give us a meaningful insight into the lives of those who were persons like us but remembered for extraordinary acts of holiness and courage. Today, we have with us a well known saint and martyr whose feast we celebrate on the 14th of August, Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Welcome, Saint Maximilian. We are happy to have you with us today. To begin with, could you tell us about the vision of Our Lady and her response to your question that moved you to a life of holiness and an endless zeal to spread the word of God?
Thank you for having me here. To begin with, the interesting question you just asked me. I was confused myself at that point of my life as a young boy. And in that moment of feeling lost, I prayed very hard to Our Lady to tell me what would happen to me. And she heard me and she appeared to me, holding in her hands two crowns, one white and one red. She asked me if I would like to have them. One was for purity and the other for martyrdom. I said, I choose both. And she smiled and disappeared. After that, I was never the same.
This vision of Our Lady definitely shaped your life, leading you to desire and make a choice to follow the path of purity and courage from a very young age. Can you share with us how this experience moved you to choosing priesthood?
As a student, I did my best to excel at my studies. I also had a passionate interest in the military, and I hoped for a military career to strive to defend my beloved Poland. My life took a different direction, and I entered the Franciscan novitiate. I was still a soldier at heart, but now the war was different. I was now waging a spiritual war, and with a few friends, we founded a new type of army, the Militia Immaculate, an army to convert sinners and bring all to love Mary Immaculate.
Father Kolbe, you were known as the master of the new media, and you used it effectively for evangelization.
Yes, we made use of the most modern printing technology and distribution strategies for our material. These were our weapons in the spiritual war. Our magazine, Night of the Immaculata, had a publication run of roughly 1 million. In addition to this, we also produced a radio show and wrote pamphlets and books, all done in order to make a profound impact on the people of my country, Poland. My love of God was filtered daily through my devotion to Mary.
Father Kolbe, you and the other prisoners suffered greatly at the hands of the Nazis. Can you share with us a little bit about your ordeal and the trials you and the other prisoners were put through?
The Nazis rolled their tanks into Poland and continued to bomb the cities. But with them literally breathing down my neck, I did not stop publishing material. The Nazis had seen enough of my writings, especially those that illustrated the evils and lies of Nazism. Soon after, I was picked up, not surprisingly, and arrested and sent to Auschwitz. We were ordered to carry wooden logs, but most of us fell under their weight. Not only this, we were also severely beaten by the guards. On one such occasion, I was then given 50 lashes and thrown into the woods to die. But that didn't happen. Perhaps it wasn't God's will for me. Instead, I was carried into the infirmary, where I was given a chance to hear confessions of the sick and the suffering. I tried my best to show tender love for my fellow prisoners who were suffering with me. At times, I would give away the tiny portions of soup and food that were given to me, since there were also others who needed them more.
Those were definitely moments of great struggle and pain and persecution, and yet, through all of this, you still saw opportunities to share love, courage, and be generous to the other prisoners, sharing even the little you had. A life truly lived in the footsteps of Christ. Thank you, Saint Maximilian Kolbe, for joining us today and sharing these profound experiences that moved you to a deep devotion to Our Lady, and through her intercession, to bear witness to Jesus through your inspiring life. Saint Maximilian Kolbe is greatly remembered for taking the place of another prisoner who was sentenced to die in the starvation bunkers. One day, a prisoner escaped from Auschwitz, and the deputy camp commander picked up 10 men to be starved to death in an underground bunker to deter further escape attempts. When one of the selected men cried out, "My wife, my children," Kolbe volunteered to die in his place, arguing he was a Catholic priest and older than the other prisoner, thus taking his place. In the block of death, their slow starvation began in darkness. But there was no screaming, as Father Kolbe led the prisoners in prayer and singing. After 2 weeks only, Kolbe remained alive, and as the jailer came to finish Kolbe off as he sat in a corner praying, he lifted his fleshless arm to receive the bite of the hypodermic needle. It was filled with carbolic acid. Father Kolbe was beatified in 1971 and canonized in 1982. Saint Maximilian Kolbe faithfully followed the path of Christ's sacrifice, and his words from John's Gospel, "No one has a greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." Like many other saints, Maximilian also underwent countless trials and tribulations. But the generosity of his soul, however, compelled him to do great things for Our Lady and led him to the summit of heroic love and transformation into the image of Christ.